Yay, you made it on your mat. Keep going with your progress. I hope you're feeling good about staying continued, practicing consistently. And if you miss a day, just try and take a class that's a little less time, just so you can stay, committed to your practice, committed to yourself. So for this class, we're going to be low to the ground, and all you're going to need is your yoga mat. I want you to think about keeping the hips lifted and really opening the thigh bones. You're really getting that opening. So I want you to think tree pose, Vrksasana, but with a little bit of sass to it. So we're going to combine two poses in one, not a long class, but I do want you to work on that range. So remember to keep the hips lifted. So come onto your back. And just make sure that your hair is out of your way, just so that your neck is neutral. And you do want to draw your lower back into the mat for a moment, just so you can feel grounded. And have your fingers touch your heels, but that's just like a very gentle guide, because everybody's structure is different. And you'll see what you might have to adjust if they're a little too close, which they could be. Okay, so bring the arms into a T shape. Inhale and exhale, lift the hips and keep squeezing the glutes. So the glutes are helping you lift the hips. Squeeze and lift. Feel the glutes engage and the energy between the legs and the feet. And now very slowly roll the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your feet closer together. They're not going to exactly touch, but I would say a narrower stance than hip distance. So maybe a fist distance between your feet and your knees. Okay, so inhale and exhale. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. Keep lifting and squeezing. Try not to break where your lower back arches. I want you to keep those hips lifted. Try and keep it straight through here, the straight line. All the way, and keep the bottom ribs in and down, and draw your left knee toward your chest. Keep the hips lifted. Pivot the knee out to the side, so you're going off center, and then without touching the floor or the ankle, reach, thread it under, and see how low you can go. Keep those hips lifted, and then pivot out to the side and come back up, and keep squeezing. We're going to go 2 for 2. Pivot out to the side, and then thread. See how far you can go without touching the floor, the mat, or the ankle, and then out to the side and come back up and lower down. Keep the hips lifted. We're going to go right to the other side and lift the right knee to the chest, pivot out to the side, keep the hips lifted, and then thread. See how far you can thread without touching, and then slowly reach out to the side. Come back up, keep the hips lifted, and yes, cramping happens. Pivot out to the side and thread. Keep the hips lifted and come back up and lower the foot down and roll the spine down and release. Okay, so give yourself a moment. We're going to do that one more time, 2 times each side. So now you know how it's going. And you might have felt some cramping, and that will happen, especially when you're engaging and going into a new range or an unfamiliar range. And that's a change. That's a change in your body. That's a change in your practice, in your process. And think about it as like this new growth. Okay, so just stay with your breath, focus on the movement, and just see what becomes available, okay? We're only doing 2 for 2. We're pausing, so let's get to it. Okay, arms out into a T shape. Make sure your feet are a little bit closer together, feet and knees. Inhale and exhale. Lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes. We're going to start with the left leg again, so draw the knee up, pivot the knee out to the side, and then thread. Keep squeezing that right glute. Try not to touch. Out to the side first, and then up. Keep that squeeze, that hip lift. Pivot out to the side, and thread, and reach out to the side. Come back up, and lower down. Keep the hips lifted. Right leg up. Pivot out to the side, and thread. Try not to touch, keep the hips lifted. Out to the side, come back to center. One more, out to the side, thread. Out to the side, come back up, lift a little bit higher. Lower the right foot and roll the vertebrae down. And let your lower back release. Okay, just moving my shirt so you can see that I'm playing with my lower back, making contact at different times. So now, just let's shake out the legs. So draw your lower back into the mat, draw your right leg up, your left leg up, and just give yourself a little massage, so cross fiber on the hamstrings, dorsiflex the feet, and then circle. You can go to the side glutes, hamstrings. Okay, go to the quads, and then just tap around, giving some sensory touch. Okay, open the arms, let the feet relax, and shake out the legs. Now, often when I teach this, I don't see the feet shaking or moving. I really want you to shake. So really create some vibration, some movement, so you're really letting that energy go through the entire foot and leg. So shake out. That's it. Okay, and then release. Roll to one side. Come on up. You did it. How did it go? If you want to try this again, right now you can just rewind. But it's a great way to see what's available in the hips while you're lifting and engaging the glutes. It's just more feedback. Enjoy the process, and I'll see you next time.